The world is a crucible, and most men stay broke because they let it forge them into something less than they were meant to be. They drift, trapped by doubt, fear, and the seductive comfort of mediocrity, never daring to claim the wealth, financial, emotional, and spiritual, that is their birthright. But you are not destined to stay broke. You are here to rise, to forge a life of abundance, purpose, and unyielding power. Wealth is not a gift handed to the fortunate, it is a prize seized by those who refuse to shrink under the weight of the world's pressures. Napoleon Hill, the relentless architect of human triumph, studied those who broke free: Edison, Carnegie, Ford, Rockefeller, men who faced the same crucible yet chose to build empires from their resolve. You stand at the edge of your own transformation, the power to never be broke pulsing in your veins. Will you drift with the masses, or will you act, forging a destiny that defies scarcity? This is why most men stay broke, and how you will never be one of them. The time to rise is now. Your mind is a forge, a molten crucible where every thought is shaped into wealth or want. Hill taught that the mind is the starting point of all achievement, but it is also the breeding ground of all poverty. Most men stay broke because their minds are cluttered with limiting beliefs, excuses, and the weight of societal conditioning, accepting scarcity as their fate. Your thoughts are not neutral, they are architects, building either a fortress of abundance or a prison of lack. Picture a forge, its flames roaring, ready to shape raw iron into a blade of prosperity. Your mind is that iron. Kindle it with belief, hammer it with discipline, and it will become a weapon of wealth. But let it be consumed by doubt, and it will cool into a life of struggle. To never be broke, you must master your mind, choosing thoughts that ignite your potential, refusing those that chain you to scarcity. Act as if your mind is already a disciplined forge, crafting the certainty to rise with every relentless choice. Belief is the spark that sets the forge ablaze. It is not a timid hope or a fleeting wish, it is a fire, a defiant conviction that you are worthy of wealth in all its forms. Hill called it faith, not in some distant force, but in the infinite potential within you. Most men stay broke because they believe they are unworthy, that riches are for others, that their lot is fixed. Doubt is a cunning thief, whispering lies: you're not smart enough. You'll fail. Stay safe. But look at those who never stayed broke. John D. Rockefeller, born into poverty, believed he could build an empire that fueled a nation. Walt Disney, bankrupt and mocked, believed a mouse could charm the world. They were not immune to doubt, they burned through it, their belief a flame that forged their path. Belief is not about ignoring your struggles, it is about seeing the strength they've honed. It is standing in scarcity and envisioning abundance, staring at an empty wallet and seeing a legacy. Act as if you are already the warrior whose belief is a blazing torch, refusing to stay broke and rising to claim your wealth. Clarity is the lens that sharpens belief into purpose. Without it, you are a wanderer, lost in the fog of indecision, never breaking free from the cycle of scarcity. Most men stay broke because they chase vague desires, quick cash, fleeting pleasures, or the approval of others, never defining their true path to wealth. Hill taught that desire is the spark of all achievement, but desire without direction is a wildfire, beautiful, but destructive. Picture your life as a vast, uncharted sea. Which star will you sail toward? Not the one society demands, not the one fear permits, but the one that sets your soul ablaze. Clarity is not a gift, it is a conquest, won by interrogating your heart. What is your wealth? Not just money, but the life it enables: freedom, impact, security. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Let the answers cut through the fog like a beacon. Clarity is not a single epiphany, it is a fire, built question by question, choice by choice, until your purpose burns as bright as the dawn. Act as if you are already the warrior who knows their star, and let clarity guide your refusal to stay broke. Vision is clarity's air, the blueprint of the abundance you're forging. It is not enough to know your purpose, you must see it, feel it, live it in your bones. Most men stay broke because their visions are dim, clouded by fear or the allure of instant gratification, never daring to act with conviction. Vision is the warrior's battle plan, the artist's sketch, the composer's melody before the first note. Andrew Carnegie did not just want wealth, he saw steel bridges spanning rivers, factories humming with life, a nation transformed. His vision was so vivid it compelled him to act, forging a fortune that reshaped the world. Your vision must be just as real. Close your eyes. See the wealth you're destined to claim, not the scarcity you've known, but the abundance that makes your heart thunder. See the empire you'll build, the lives you'll touch, the legacy you'll leave. Write it down. Speak it into existence. Let it become a flame that no doubt can extinguish. Act as if you are already the warrior whose vision is a guiding blaze, refusing to stay broke and rising to forge your prosperity. Purpose is the fuel that feeds your vision. It is the why that makes the how possible. Most men stay broke because they lack a reason to rise, chasing fleeting gains or external validation, never anchoring their actions to a deeper cause. Purpose is not a lofty ideal, it is a force, a North Star guiding you through the darkness. Viktor Frankl, who survived Auschwitz, said that those who found meaning could endure anything. Your purpose need not be grand, it need only be yours. It might be to secure your family's future, to create something that lasts, to prove to yourself what's possible. Hill studied Henry Ford, who did not just build cars, he built a legacy of progress, a world where movement was freedom. Ford's purpose was not profit, it was possibility, and it drove him to never stay broke. Find your why. Let it be the heartbeat of your journey, the fire that burns brighter than scarcity. Act as if you are already the warrior driven by a purpose so fierce it compels you to rise, no matter the crucible's heat. Discipline is the hammer that carves your purpose into reality. It is the daily choice to rise over shrink, to choose effort over ease, to act over drift. Most men stay broke because they wait for motivation or a windfall, never forging the habits that break the cycle of scarcity. Discipline is saying no to the comfort of instant gratification, showing up when you're tired, when you're afraid, when the world offers every excuse to stay small. Hill marveled at Thomas Edison, who worked through 10,000 failures to invent the light bulb. Edison didn't wait for success, he disciplined his actions, strike after strike. You are not your feelings. You are not your fatigue. You are your choices. Discipline is choosing to act when every fiber craves safety, acting as if you are already the warrior who commands their destiny. It is the daily deposit in the bank of your future self, the relentless vow that you will not betray your purpose. Act as if you are already the warrior whose hammer is unyielding, forging a life of abundance where others stay broke. Action is discipline's air, the tangible strike that shapes your wealth. Most men stay broke because they hesitate, paralyzed by the gap between their dreams and reality, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. Action is not perfection, it is motion. The world rewards the bold, not the flawless. Hill's philosophy was about creating the moment, not waiting for it. Edison did not wait for the light bulb to invent itself, he acted, failed, adjusted, acted again. Each failure was a strike, each strike a step toward prosperity. What is your next strike? Not the grand fortune, but the one action you can take today to break the cycle of scarcity. Take it. Then take another. Momentum is a force of nature, and it begins with a single push. Action is the bridge between your mind and the world, the moment your purpose takes form. Act as if you are already the warrior who moves without hesitation, and let each strike forge a life where you never stay broke. Gratitude is the quiet power that keeps your fire burning through the crucible's heat. It is not a shallow platitude, it is a lens, a way of seeing that transforms scarcity into opportunity. Hill believed that gratitude aligned the mind with abundance, tuning it to possibility rather than lack. Most men stay broke because they focus on what they lack, letting resentment tether them to poverty. Look around you. The breath in your lungs, the chance to act again, the lessons carved into your struggles, they are treasures. Andrew Carnegie, at the height of his wealth, said his greatest riches were his ability to appreciate what he had. Gratitude does not erase the crucible's fire, it gives you the strength to forge through it. It reminds you that you are not a victim of scarcity, you are its conqueror. In the moments when the path feels steep, pause. Breathe. Find one thing, no matter how small, that anchors you to hope. Let it ground you, and then act. Act as if you are already the warrior who finds gratitude in the journey, and let it fuel your fire to never stay broke. Gratitude anchors your resolve, its quiet warmth fueling the fire that drives you through the crucible's heat. The forge of your life glows before you, its molten potential waiting to be shaped into a legacy of abundance. The world presses down with scarcity's weight, doubt, fear, and the temptation to settle, threatening to chain you to a life of lack. Most men stay broke, succumbing to these pressures, their dreams dimmed by hesitation, their actions stalled by the lure of comfort. But you are not most. You are here to rise, to forge a life of wealth, purpose, and unyielding power, refusing to let scarcity define you. Every choice to act, every refusal to drift, is a strike against the chains of poverty. Napoleon Hill's wisdom, forged in the triumphs of those who broke free, is your guide. Most men stay broke because they accept it. You will never be one of them, and every step you take builds the empire you were born to claim. The anvil glows, strike now, and let your fire conquer scarcity. Adaptability is the agility that keeps your hammer sharp in life's shifting flames. The path to never staying broke is not a straight forge, it is a turbulent crucible, twisting with challenges, setbacks, and unforeseen obstacles. Most men stay broke because they cling to rigid plans or the comfort of familiarity, believing wealth requires a predictable path. But those who rise adapt, adjusting their strikes to the iron's grain, using change to propel their craft. Hill's contemporaries, like John D. Rockefeller, built empires not because they avoided disruption, but because they thrived in it. When markets crashed, when rivals rose, they pivoted, innovated, endured. Darwin did not say the strongest survive, he said the most adaptable do. Your purpose will test you, plans will falter, opportunities will shift. That is not failure, it is the iron revealing its secrets. Learn from it. Adjust your approach. Keep striking. The warrior who forges abundance is not rigid, they are fluid, like a river carving through stone. Adaptability is not retreat, it is mastery, the relentless resolve to act no matter the storm. Act as if you are already the warrior who bends without breaking, and the crucible will yield to your fire. Resilience is adaptability's twin, the unyielding refusal to let the crucible's heat crush your spirit. The journey to breaking the cycle of scarcity is strewn with trials, financial failures, rejections, moments when doubt threatens to bury you. Most men stay broke because they believe these trials define them, letting setbacks chain them to poverty. But resilience is the choice to strike again, to act as if you are already the warrior who overcomes. Hill taught that every adversity carries the seed of an equivalent benefit, a hidden spark waiting to be kindled. Abraham Lincoln faced relentless loss, business failures, personal tragedies, a nation at war, yet he refused to stay broke, acting as if his leadership was destined, because his purpose was his anchor. Your scars are not shackles, they are proof of your strength. Look at the setbacks you faced, the doubts you've pushed through, the moments you thought you couldn't go on. They are not your defeat, they are your forge. Find the seed in your struggles. Nurture it. Let it fuel you. The world respects those who rise, not those who never fall. Act as if you are already the warrior whose resilience is a blazing fire, forging abundance through every trial. Learning is the whetstone that sharpens your hammer's edge. The warrior who never stays broke is not static, they are a student, ever growing, ever refining their craft. Most men stay broke because they fear the effort of growth or believe they've learned enough to coast, trapped by ignorance or arrogance. Hill spent decades studying the successful Edison, Carnegie, Ford, not to idolize them, but to dissect their methods. He was a student until the end, and so must you be. Learning is not a chore, it is a rebellion against scarcity, a refusal to let ignorance tether you to poverty. Read. Listen. Question. Seek mentors, not to follow blindly, but to stand on their shoulders. Thomas Edison's genius was not a gift, it was honed, experiment by experiment, book by book. Every experience is a lesson, failures teach more than successes, critics sharpen more than compliments. Embrace them. Let them refine you. Act as if you are already the warrior who craves growth, who sees every lesson as a spark to fuel their fire. The universe opens its secrets to those who learn with relentless resolve. Courage is the force that drives your hammer strike. It is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it. Fear is a cunning foe, whispering that you're not ready, that wealth is too risky, that staying broke is safer. Most men stay broke because they hesitate, paralyzed by this voice, never daring to act with conviction. But courage is the fire that burns through fear, the decision to move as if you are already the warrior destined for abundance. Hill studied men like Henry Ford, who faced ridicule for his horseless carriage, yet acted, undeterred by the world's laughter. Courage is not a feeling, it is a choice, a vow to strike even when your heart trembles. J.K. Rowling, scraping by as a single mother, could have let fear chain her to poverty. Instead, she acted as if she were already the author who would change the world, and that courage birthed Harry Potter, a phenomenon that made her a fortune. Your courage is your power. Strike, and fear will bow. Act, and the path will appear. Act as if you are already the warrior whose fire cannot be quenched, and let your courage forge a life of wealth. Autosuggestion is the silent rhythm that steadies your strikes. Hill taught that the subconscious mind is a fertile garden, and every thought you plant takes root. Most men stay broke because they let their minds grow wild with weeds of doubt and scarcity, undermining their potential. Autosuggestion is not wishful thinking, it is a deliberate act of planting the seeds of abundance. Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty and pain, could have believed she was destined for lack. Instead, she spoke a different truth. She stood before mirrors, before empty rooms, and declared her worth. I am destined for greatness, she told herself, and her mind listened. That belief fueled her actions, forging a path from a small-town newsroom to a global empire. You are the gardener of your soul. Speak to yourself with conviction. Write your vision in bold letters. Say, I will never stay broke. I act. I conquer. Let those words sink into your core. They are not empty, they are the rhythm of your transformation. Act as if you are already the warrior whose mind is a blazing crucible, forging wealth with every steady strike. Mastermind alliances are the forge mates who strengthen your fire. Hill believed that no one breaks free from scarcity alone. Your refusal to stay broke is a flame, but it burns brighter when surrounded by others who share your fire. Most men stay broke because they surround themselves with naysayers who amplify their doubts, fearing the effort of seeking better allies. A mastermind is not a casual gathering, it is a council of creators, a circle of warriors who challenge you, sharpen you, lift you higher. Andrew Carnegie surrounded himself with advisors who were smarter than he was. He did not fear their brilliance, he harnessed it, acting to build an empire that transformed a nation. Look at your circle. Are they weights or hammers? Do they fuel your doubts or ignite your resolve? Seek those who see your destined wealth, who hold you accountable, who refuse to let you drift. Steve Jobs did not build Apple alone, he had Wozniak, designers, visionaries who shared his dream. Your mastermind might be mentors, peers, even the wisdom of books. Act as if you are already the warrior who forges alliances that fuel their fire, and let them help you shape a life of abundance. Sacrifice is the price of your hammer's strength. Breaking the cycle of scarcity demands a trade, a willing exchange of comfort for conquest. Most men stay broke because they cling to instant gratification, mindless distractions, fleeting pleasures, unwilling to pay the price of wealth. Hill studied men like Thomas Edison, who sacrificed sleep, security, and approval to chase his vision. Sacrifice is not loss, it is investment. Serena Williams sacrificed parties, rest, the carefree life of youth to train, to compete, to win. She acted as if she were already a legend, and it made her one. What are you willing to give up? The late night scrolling? The habits that tether you to scarcity? The fear of effort? Sacrifice is not punishment, it is power. Every no to the trivial is a yes to your destiny. Act as if you are already the warrior who pays the price without hesitation, and the universe will reward your resolve with a hammer that forges prosperity. Time is the crucible's fire that tempers your creation. Most men stay broke because they waste hours in distractions, procrastination, or the demands of others, hoping wealth will find them. Hill warned that drifting, living without purpose, is the greatest tragedy of all. The clock is ticking, not to scare you, but to awaken you. Marie Curie, toiling in a freezing shed, discovered radium because she treated time like gold. She acted as if every moment mattered, and it changed the world. Audit your days. Where does your time go? Does it fuel your actions, or does it feed your stagnation? Cut what does not matter. Protect your hours like a fortress. Time is not your enemy, it is your fire, and every moment is a chance to strike. Act as if each second is a step toward your destined wealth, and let your relentless fire burn through the fog of delay. Persistence is the relentless rhythm of your strikes. The journey to never staying broke is not a single swing, it is a marathon, demanding you keep acting through setbacks, doubts, and exhaustion. Most men stay broke because they believe the struggle proves they're not meant for wealth, letting their hammer fall silent. Hill called persistence the sustained effort that builds faith, the refusal to let obstacles halt your craft. Elon Musk watched his first rockets explode, his companies teeter on the edge of collapse. Yet he persisted, acting as if he were already the visionary who would change the world. Persistence is not about never wavering, it is about striking again every time you do. The world will block your path, mock your ambition, tempt you to drift. But persistence is the voice that says, not today. It is the courage to swing one more time, to act one more day, to forge your wealth as if the next strike will break the cycle of scarcity. Keep striking, your resolve a thunder that shakes the crucible, one relentless day at a time. Keep striking, your resolve a thunder that shakes the crucible, one relentless day at a time. The forge of your destiny glows molten before you, its potential vast but unformed, waiting for your disciplined hammer to shape it into a life of abundance. The world presses down with scarcity's weight, doubt, fear, and the lure of mediocrity threatening to chain you to a cycle of lack. Most men stay broke, their dreams buried under the rubble of hesitation, their actions stifled by the comfort of the familiar. But you are not most. You refuse to stay broke, each strike a defiant act of rising, forging a legacy of wealth, purpose, and power. The flames may roar, but your fire burns fiercer. Every choice to act, every refusal to drift, is a testament to the warrior within. Napoleon Hill's wisdom, forged in the triumphs of those who broke free, is your guide. Most men stay broke because they accept it. You will never be one of them, and every strike you land builds the empire you were born to claim. The anvil awaits, act now, and let your fire conquer eternity. Faith is the invisible flame that fuels your persistence. It is not a fleeting hope, but a blazing conviction that the wealth you seek, financial, emotional, spiritual, is not just possible, it is your destiny. The world will try to douse this flame, whispering that your efforts are too small, your dreams too vast, your past too heavy. Most men stay broke, letting doubt extinguish their fire, settling for a life of lack. Hill described faith as a state of mind, a belief so fierce it aligns the universe to your will. Nelson Mandela, locked in a cell for 27 years, did not merely hope for a free South Africa, he acted as if he were already the leader who would forge it. That faith sustained him through darkness, isolation, and despair, driving his every disciplined strike. Your faith must be just as unyielding. It is not about ignoring the crucible's heat, it is about knowing your hammer is stronger. Faith is the whisper that says, wealth is mine. It is the courage to act as if your greatness is inevitable, even when scarcity looms. Write your destiny on your heart. Carry it like a torch. Let it blaze through the shadows. Act as if you are already the warrior whose faith burns so brightly it lights the way to abundance. Imagination is the vision that guides your hammer's path. Hill taught that the imagination is the forge where all plans are crafted, where the wealth you're forging takes shape before it fills your hands. Most men stay broke, their imaginations dulled by fear, believing their reality is fixed, their dreams too distant to pursue. There are two kinds of imagination, synthetic, which reshapes existing ideas, and creative, which taps into the infinite intelligence of the universe. Walt Disney was a master of both. Bankrupt, mocked, told his dreams were childish, he acted as if he were already the visionary who would bring joy to millions. He saw castles, characters, entire kingdoms before a single brick was laid. Disneyland was not built with money, it was built with imagination, fueled by relentless action. Your mind is the same forge. Close your eyes. See the wealth you're destined to claim, not the scarcity you've known, but the abundance that sets your soul ablaze. See the empire you'll build, the lives you'll touch, the legacy you'll leave. Let that vision guide your strikes. The world cannot resist a mind that dares to dream without limits. Act as if you are already the warrior whose imagination carves a path to prosperity, refusing to stay broke under any storm. Influence is the spark that spreads your fire beyond the forge. Your refusal to stay broke is not just for you, it is a beacon, capable of inspiring others to break free from scarcity's chains. Most men focus only on their own struggle, never realizing their power to ignite, fearing the weight of impact. Hill's mastermind principle was clear: influence is not a byproduct of wealth, it is its engine, a force that multiplies through connection. Rosa Parks, a seamstress in Montgomery, refused to stay small. Her single act of defiance, refusing to give up her seat, sparked the civil rights movement, inspiring millions to rise above oppression. Your influence is your power to shift the world. It is the encouragement that lifts a friend, the bold choice that inspires a community, the example that shows others they too can forge a life of abundance. You are not here to hoard your fire, you are here to share it. Who will you ignite? What will you spark? Act as if you are already the beacon whose actions light the way for others, and let your spark ripple through the world. Commitment is the rhythm that keeps your hammer steady. It is the unwavering vow to forge your wealth, no matter the cost, no matter the crucible's fury. The world tempts you to drift, to seek instant gratification, to let doubt silence your strikes. Most men stay broke, their dreams fading under the weight of indecision. Hill studied titans like Andrew Carnegie, who faced betrayal, skepticism, and chaos, yet acted as if he were already the architect of a nation's progress. Commitment is not a feeling, it is a promise, a pledge you make to yourself when the iron grows hard. Maya Angelou, rising from trauma, acted as if she were already the voice that would lift millions. Her commitment turned pain into a legacy that transcended wealth. Your commitment is your rhythm. It is the voice that says, "I will not stay broke." It is the fire that burns when all else fades. Make your vow. Write it in stone. Let it guide you through the tempests. Act as if you are already the warrior whose resolve is unbreakable, and let your commitment forge your empire one relentless strike at a time. Joy is the warmth of your fire's endurance. The disciplined act of forging abundance is not a grim toll, it is a dance, a celebration of the warrior you're becoming. Most men stay broke, seeing struggle as punishment, letting it drain the light from their craft. Hill believed that a positive mental attitude was the key to unlocking opportunity. Joy is not the absence of hardship, it is the choice to find meaning in the journey. Walt Disney, battered by bankruptcy and betrayal, never lost his childlike wonder. He acted as if he were already the creator of worlds, and that joy built an empire. Your forge will be fierce. There will be nights when doubt weighs like iron, days when the crucible's heat seems unbearable. But in those moments, seek joy. Find it in the small victories, the strike you landed, the fear you defied, the purpose you held fast. Joy is the warmth that keeps your fire burning. It is the reminder that you are not just surviving, you are thriving, forging a life that sings with abundance. Act as if you are already the warrior who finds joy in the struggle, and let it illuminate your forge. Connection is the forge where your fire grows stronger. Your refusal to stay broke is not a solitary flame, it is a blaze that burns brighter when shared. Most men falter, isolating themselves, believing they must forge alone to prove their worth, fearing the vulnerability of connection. Hill's philosophy was rooted in the power of connection, the idea that we rise together or fall apart. Martin Luther King Jr. did not forge freedom alone. He acted as if he were already the leader of a movement, standing with thousands, marching with millions, speaking for those whose voices were silenced. His fire was amplified by connection, by the hands he held, the hearts he moved. Seek your forge mates. Find those who see your fire and fan it, who challenge you to strike bolder, who remind you of your purpose when scarcity looms. Connection is not weakness, it is strength. It is the courage to be vulnerable, to share your fears, to ask for support. You are not diminished by others, you are magnified. Act as if you are already the warrior who forges bonds, not barriers, and watch your fire spread across the crucible. Humility is the quiet strength that keeps your fire true. It is not self-doubt, but the recognition that your forge is part of a larger crucible. Most men let pride silence their hammer, refusing to learn from others, believing they must forge alone to shine. Hill taught that the most successful were those who listened to mentors, critics, even adversaries. Humility kept Carnegie grounded as he built his empire, kept Edison curious as he chased the impossible. It is the willingness to say, "I don't know, but I will learn." The world is a chorus of voices, some will cheer, some will condemn. Humility lets you hear them all without losing your rhythm. It reminds you that your fire is not above others, but beside them. Stay humble, not to dim your flame, but to let it burn brighter. Act as if you are already the warrior who serves, who lifts others as they forge, and your wealth will grow without bounds. Infinite intelligence is the unseen spark that fuels your relentless fire. Hill believed that the mind is a receiver, capable of tapping into a universal reservoir of wisdom and inspiration. Most men stay broke, too caught in scarcity's noise to listen, waiting for external solutions. This is not mysticism, it is the ember of creation that pulses through every inventor, every dreamer. Marie Curie did not discover radium by chance. She acted as if she were already the scientist who would change the world, tuning her mind to the frequency of possibility. You have the same access. In the quiet moments, when you silence doubt's clamor, you can feel it, a whisper, a vision, a truth that burns brighter than fear. Trust it. Nurture it. Let it guide your strikes. Infinite intelligence is the spark that feeds your fire, the compass in your hand. Act as if you are already the warrior who receives these gifts, and the universe will guide your hammer to forge a life of abundance. Legacy is the fire you leave burning in the crucible. The wealth you forge, shaped by your relentless refusal to stay broke, is not just for today, it is a beacon for tomorrow, a blaze that outlives you. Most men chase fleeting sparks, measuring their worth in temporary gains, staying broke in spirit if not in pocket. Hill believed that true greatness is achieved in service to something larger. Malala Yousafzai did not forge her path for herself alone, she acted as if she were already a global voice, leaving a legacy of education and empowerment. Your legacy is the warmth you leave behind. It is the lives you touch, the dreams you ignite, the empires you inspire because you dared to break the cycle of scarcity. Ask yourself, what fire will you leave? Not for your ego, but for the world. Your wealth is not complete until it sets others ablaze. Now, stand before the forge of your life. Look back at the chains you've broken, the doubts you've burned, the fears you've conquered, the strikes you've landed, each one a testament to the warrior you've become. They are not accidents. They are the crucible that shaped you. You are not the man who drifted in scarcity. You are a warrior, a creator, a flame. The world is not the same because you refuse to stay broke. But this is not the end, it is the beginning. Your fire is not yours to hoard, it is a gift to the world, a legacy to ignite generations. The crucible was fierce, but your resolve is fiercer. Scarcity was loud, but your actions are louder. Close your eyes. See the wealth you were born to claim, not the lack you once knew, but the abundance you forged. See the empire you'll build, the lives you'll touch, the legacy you'll leave. Feel the heat of your purpose, the weight of your hammer, the pulse of your destiny. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not when doubt fades, but now. The clock is ticking, not to limit you, but to remind you, you have everything you need. Your mind is the forge, your belief the flame, your actions the hammer. What will you create? Step forward. This is why most men stay broke, and you will never be one of them. Claim your wealth with every breath, every choice, every strike. The world is not waiting for you to feel ready. It is waiting for you to act ready. You are not here to drift, to doubt, to stay broke. You are here to rise, to create, to blaze. Go now. Set the universe alight with your fire. Your time is now.